The lighted path beneath their feet trembled with every heartbeat. Above them, the storm over the citadel churned violently, lightning striking the jagged spires with deafening intensity. The air was heavy, thick, with a tangible pressure that pressed against their minds, a reminder that beyond this bridge awaited a foe older than fear itself. Jack adjusted his grip on the fragment. I can feel it. The citadel is alive. It's like it's breathing around us. Mara's eyes glowed faintly blue, illuminating the cracked obsidian beneath them. It's responding to our approach. Every doubt, every hesitation. It knows. Prometheus' voice resonated through the shard. The threshold tests what you carry within. But beyond the threshold, the citadel tests what you are willing to give up. Courage alone will not suffice. Unity and purpose will be your shield. Shadows began to curl along the edges of the path, not as attacks but as probing fingers, seeking cracks in their resolve. Faces appeared in the darkness, distorted reflections of their past fears, fragmented memories they had once buried, whispers of failures long forgotten. Each shadow dissolved when Jack's fragment or Mara's cane flared, but the images returned, multiplied, relentless. Jack's chest tightened. We've fought shadows before, but they feel alive, like they're trying to get inside my head. They are, Prometheus said calmly. Not to destroy you, but to remind you of what is at stake. You cannot hide from yourself here. The first fissure opened beneath their feet, revealing molten rivers of black energy that pulsed like veins. Mara raised her cane, sending arcs of blue light to solidify the ground, forming a temporary bridge. Step lightly. The threshold measures hesitation as much as fear. With each careful step, the citadel grew larger, its spires clawing at the stormy sky. At the horizon, a massive gate loomed, inscribed with glowing crimson runes, vibrating faintly as if aware of their presence. Beyond it, a dark silhouette waited, its mask gleaming with gold and etched with unreadable symbols. The air around it shimmered with malevolent power, bending reality like heat waves over molten metal. Jack swallowed, his mind racing. So that's them. The eraser. Mara's voice was steady. The one who erased Prometheus' name. The one who seeks control over all threads. We've come too far to falter now. Prometheus' tone was serene but resolute. Remember this, the eraser is not merely an enemy. It is the embodiment of lost choices, of corrupted potential. To defeat it, we must wield what it cannot: our unity, our memory, and our resolve. The ground beneath them trembled as they neared the gate. A sudden eruption of shadow surged from the citadel, forming jagged towers of dark energy that twisted toward the bridge. Jack raised the fragment, unleashing a burst of silver light that disintegrated the nearest shadow. Mara struck her cane into the path, sending waves of azure energy that stabilized the trembling bridge. Prometheus stepped forward, his golden key glowing brighter than ever. The threshold has granted you passage, but the true trial begins here. Beyond this gate, hesitation will be your undoing. Jack glanced at Mara, determination flaring in his eyes. Then let's end this, together. Mara nodded. Together. They advanced as one. The air shimmered, the bridge solidified, and the storm overhead twisted violently, lightning crackling across the sky. The citadel's gate groaned and parted slowly, revealing a vast throne room, cavernous and pulsing with shadowy energy. Threads of erased names stretched across the walls. Black rivers of forgotten stories that writhed like living creatures. From the throne emerged the eraser, rising slowly, an aura of absolute control radiating from them. The gold-masked figure extended a hand, and the threads of the chamber pulsed in response. You dare enter my domain carrying the remnants of the passage. The voice was calm, yet each word carried the weight of inevitability, bending reality itself around it. Jack gritted his teeth. We don't carry remnants. We carry Prometheus' will, our courage, and every name the passage protects. You can't stop that. The eraser tilted their mask, considering, and then raised their hands. Shadows surged forward, forming jagged tendrils that stretched across the room like black lightning. The throne room quaked with power, threads of erased names twisting and writhing in response. Mara's cane glowed brilliantly, striking the shadows with arcs of light. Jack's fragment flared, piercing the darkness, and together their attacks carved paths of silver and blue through the storm of shadows. Prometheus' presence, woven into the shard, echoed in their minds. Remember our unity. We are the heart of the passage, we endure. We prevail. The eraser's shadows recoiled slightly, and the golden mask gleamed brighter, reflecting the swirling energy of the trio's combined will. The final confrontation was about to erupt, and the threshold of shadows behind them faded into memory. Ahead lay the true crucible, the heart of the citadel, and the battle that would decide the fate of all names. The instant they stepped through the citadel's gate, the air changed. It was heavier, thick, with a tangible malevolence that seemed to coil around their hearts. Shadows twisted unnaturally across the floor, elongating and writhing as if alive, and the walls glimmered with streams of erased names, each thread pulsating with a dark resonance. Jack felt his chest tighten. It's watching us, feeling us. Mara's eyes glowed faintly blue as she gripped her cane. This place isn't just alive, it's sentient. Every step we take, every thought we have, it responds to. It knows our fears, our doubts, even what we hope to keep hidden. Prometheus' presence within the shard pulsed warmly. Do not let it dictate your mind. Remember your purpose. We carry the passage, and it carries us. The eraser cannot break that if we remain steadfast. The vast hall stretched endlessly, shadows twisting into jagged spires that pierced the ceiling like frozen lightning. At the far end, the eraser stood atop a raised platform, golden masked, cloaked in a mantle of living shadow. Their presence radiated power so intense that even the glowing threads of the chamber seemed to bow before it. The eraser's voice, smooth and commanding, echoed without sound. You dare enter my domain bearing the remnants of Prometheus. You trespass on inevitability. Jack tightened his grip on the fragment. We're not carrying remnants. We carry every story, every soul the passage protects, and we're not leaving without confronting you. The eraser tilted their head, the mask catching the dim light, and raised their hands. Shadows surged forward, forming jagged, serpentine tendrils that writhed toward the adventurers. The floor cracked beneath them, black fissures revealing pools of molten energy. Mara struck first, her cane releasing arcs of azure light that cut through the nearest shadows. The energy sizzled as it collided, forming splintered fragments of the darkness that hissed and retreated. Jack followed, slashing with the fragment, each strike illuminating distorted visions of erased memories, the lives the eraser had obliterated. Prometheus' voice guided them, steady and calm. Do not fight with anger. Fight with recognition. Every shadow is a choice we have already made or must now accept. The shadows recoiled as if aware of their intent. Jack realized the fragment did more than attack. It healed, rewrote, and reinforced the threads of the passage embedded within the citadel. Each strike mended a portion of the fraying reality, turning the eraser's attacks against them. Mara's cane hummed in resonance with the fragment. It's working. Every thread we protect makes the shadows falter. The eraser's golden mask gleamed brighter, their hands moving in precise, terrifying motions. From the floor, towers of black energy shot upward, forming barriers and spikes that threatened to trap them. Jack leapt across a fissure, swinging the fragment to blast the spikes apart, while Mara formed a shield of light arcs to protect them both. Prometheus' energy surged from the shard, wrapping around Jack and Mara. Unity is the key. Do not falter. The eraser cannot dominate what stands together. A massive tendril of shadow lunged at them from the platform. Jack met it head-on with the fragment, the clash sending a shockwave that rattled the citadel. Sparks of silver and black exploded in the air, threads of memory weaving through the explosion. Illuminating faces and moments long erased, the eraser's voice echoed in their minds now, sharper, filled with frustration. You dare resist inevitability. You dare rewrite what I have erased. Jack gritted his teeth. We dare because we have something you will never understand. We have Prometheus, and we have each other. Mara's cane flared with blinding light, sending a cascade of energy that disintegrated several shadow tendrils. She stepped forward, following Jack, their movements perfectly synchronized, weaving attacks with light and silver energy. The citadel trembled under the force of their combined will. The eraser recoiled, the shadows flickering and faltering. But they were far from defeated. The golden-masked figure began raising new tendrils, faster, sharper, more chaotic. The air around them hummed thick with a pulse that threatened to crush their resolve. Prometheus' voice surged from the shard, a beacon of calm and determination. Remember your purpose. We endure, we protect, and we prevail. Focus not on fear, but on what we stand for. Jack inhaled sharply, feeling the fragment respond to Prometheus' will. He struck with renewed precision, weaving through the tendrils of shadow, each impact mending reality and pushing the eraser back. The deeper they advanced, the heavier the air became. Every breath was thick with the weight of erased names, memories that had never been, and lives snuffed out before they could exist. Shadows clung to the walls, writhing like living smoke, reaching out as if to test their resolve. Jack's pulse raced. The fragment in his hand pulsed in sympathy with the citadel's heartbeat. Feels alive, he muttered. Like it's trying to see inside my head. Mara's cane glowed a pale azure, illuminating intricate sigils etched across the obsidian floor. It is alive. Not in the way we think, but in the way a mind is alive. It senses weakness, hesitation, and doubt. It wants to break us before we face the eraser. Prometheus' voice resonated through the shard, calm and steady. Fear feeds the shadows. Courage shapes them. Remember what we carry and why we endure. Every step forward is a testament to the passage. They reached a colossal hall, the walls adorned with flowing threads of erased names, black ribbons intertwined with occasional glimmers of gold. From the far end, the eraser emerged atop a raised dais, their golden mask gleaming ominously. Shadows coiled around them like serpents, writhing with unnatural intelligence. The figure radiated absolute authority, and the very air seemed to bend around them. You've come far, the eraser's voice echoed, deep and resonant, pressing against their minds. But nothing you carry can survive here. Every name I erased, every thread I destroyed, I reclaim. You trespass in inevitability. Jack's grip tightened on the fragment. We're not carrying remnants. We carry Prometheus' will, the passage itself, and everything it protects. You can't undo that. The eraser lifted a hand, and tendrils of shadow surged forward, jagged and alive, forming walls and spires that twisted like black lightning. Jack leapt, swinging the fragment, releasing a torrent of silver energy that sliced through the nearest tendrils. Each strike revealed fragments of erased lives' faces, places. Memories flashing briefly before vanishing, Mara followed, striking the floor with her cane. Arcs of light surging outward to stabilize the shifting ground. The shards of shadow recoiled, and golden threads of the passage shimmered in response, reinforcing the floor beneath them. Prometheus' energy pulsed, strengthening their combined efforts. Do not fight blindly. Each shadow is a reflection. Strike not just with power, but with understanding. Every life restored, every name remembered, is a blow to the eraser. The eraser's form faltered slightly, tendrils writhing as Jack and Mara advanced in perfect synchrony. Yet the citadel responded violently. Fissures split the floor, molten veins glowing red, and new spikes of shadow shot upward. Jack leapt across the gaps, slashing with the fragment, while Mara formed arcs of energy that intersected with each strike. A symphony of silver and blue light against living darkness, the eraser's golden mask gleamed brighter, their voice filled with restrained fury. You defy inevitability. Mere mortals. Altering threads I haven't made. Jack's voice rang out, steady and resolute. We're not mere mortals. We are the heart of the passage. And we endure because we choose to. A massive tendril of shadow lunged from the dais. Jack met it with the fragment, the collision sending shockwaves through the hall. Sparks of silver and black exploded, threads of memory weaving through the chaos, illuminating countless forgotten stories. Mara struck simultaneously, sending arcs of light that intersected the blast, forming a radiant lattice that pushed the tendril back. The eraser's voice now trembled. Impossible. You resist the unmaking. Prometheus' voice surged through the shard, a beacon of calm. Together, you are more than fear. Together, you are the passage itself. Trust in what we carry. Jack inhaled sharply, feeling the fragment respond to his resolve. He pressed forward, striking tendril after tendril, weaving silver light through shadow, restoring fragments of erased names. Mara followed, each strike of her cane amplifying his, their energy combining into a dazzling force that even the eraser could not fully suppress. The golden-masked figure hovered, faltering, shadows flickering. The throne room trembled with the intensity of their will, the very fabric of the citadel straining against their combined power. Finally, a pulse of light from the fragment and Mara's cane struck the dais itself, sending the eraser stumbling backward. Threads of black dissolved into glowing silver and gold, the citadel shaking as though acknowledging the victory of courage, unity, and memory over raw domination. Jack and Mara, exhausted but unwavering, stood before the eraser, who hovered above the fractured floor. The shadows lingered, but they were weakened, wavering, and fragmented. The eraser's voice, now soft and almost reverent, whispered, "You endure more than I anticipated. But this is far from over." Prometheus' energy pulsed gently from the shard, calm amidst the chaos. "We have shown the passage is stronger than fear. The final confrontation is not yet complete, but we have won the first trial. Ahead lies the crucible. Your next step is yours to take." Jack exhaled, gripping the fragment. "Then let's see this through, together." Mara nodded, her glow intensifying. "Whatever awaits, we face it as one," and with that, they pressed deeper into the citadel, the shadows receding for now, aware that the true test where courage, unity, and sacrifice would be pushed to their absolute limits was waiting just beyond the next threshold. The walls of the citadel pulsed with a rhythm that seemed alive, resonating with every heartbeat of Jack, Mara, and the energy of Prometheus within the shard. Threads of black and gold stretched across the hall like living veins, quivering as though anticipating their next move. Each step forward made the floor groan beneath them, and the shadows along the edges writhed with intelligence, curling toward the intruders like predatory snakes. Jack gritted his teeth, the fragment glowing brighter with each pulse. "It's like the whole place is watching me, trying to make me doubt myself." Mara's eyes, sharp and steady, scanned the walls. "It is watching, yes, but it is also testing us. The threshold was only the beginning. This is the crucible of intent. The citadel responds to our will, our unity. Hesitation will cost us more than pain. It will cost us everything." Prometheus' voice emanated from the shard, calm and unwavering. "Do not falter. Every shadow you encounter here is a reflection of the choices you carry. Confront them, not with fear, but with clarity. Each step is a testament to your purpose." As they progressed, the hall widened into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in darkness. Shadows began to take more defined shapes, jagged, serpentine forms twisting and crawling along the walls, spikes of black energy erupting from the floor. Every tendril seemed to sense their movement, shifting in anticipation, as if the citadel itself were a sentient predator, and they were prey daring to approach its heart. At the far end, the eraser's golden mask gleamed, eyes reflecting the chaos around them. Cloaked in living shadow, they rose from the platform like a sovereign of oblivion. The threads of erased names stretched from their hands into the chamber, writhing like black rivers of forgotten life. The air itself trembled, thick with oppressive energy that bent space around them. "You are far braver than I expected." The eraser's voice echoed directly into their minds, low and commanding. "But bravery cannot reclaim what I have already undone. Every name, every life erased or claimed by none. You trespass in the inevitable." Jack stepped forward, his jaw tight. "We're not trespassing. We're reclaiming. Every soul the passage protects stands with us, every memory Prometheus safeguarded. You can't undo that." The eraser raised both hands, and shadows erupted violently from the floor and walls, twisting into colossal, jagged forms that surged toward them. Jack and Mara reacted instantly. He swung the fragment, releasing a torrent of silver light that carved through the nearest tendrils. Mara struck her cane into the floor, arcs of azure energy radiating outward, stabilizing the ground and dispersing shadow fragments with every strike. Flashes of erased memories appeared, faces long forgotten, moments never lived, stories that had vanished into oblivion. Jack felt their weight, the sorrow and loss, but Prometheus' presence steadied him. Do not carry their weight as a burden. Carry it as a shield. Each life remembered is a blow against the eraser. The shadows recoiled, but the citadel responded, fissures cracking open beneath them, molten veins glowing red, spikes erupting from the obsidian. Jack leapt across one, slashing with the fragment, Mara following, sending arcs of light that intersected his strikes. The two moved as one, a symphony of silver and blue energy against the living darkness. The eraser's voice, now sharp with frustration, boomed, "You defy inevitability. Mere mortals altering threads I haven't made." Jack's resolve hardened. We are not mere mortals. We are the heart of the passage. We endure because we choose to, not because fear tells us to. The golden-masked figure lunged forward, tendrils writhing violently, but Jack and Mara pressed onward, their combined energy carving a path toward the days. The fragment pulsed brighter, synchronized with Prometheus' voice. Unity is your strength. Fear has no dominion here. Strike with purpose, not anger. A massive tendril lashed at them from above. Jack met it with a blast of silver energy, the impact sending a shockwave through the chamber, illuminating threads of erased names weaving across the floor and walls. The chamber's air thickened with every step, heavy with the weight of erased lives and forgotten memories. Threads of black and gold stretched across the walls and floor, writhing like living serpents. Each pulse of the citadel's energy tested the limits of their minds. Jack could feel the darkness probing, tugging at hidden fears and doubts he had buried long ago. It's like it's inside my head, Jack muttered, his grip tightening on the fragment. I can feel every doubt, every mistake. Mara's eyes glowed with a steady azure light, casting arcs across the obsidian floor. It isn't trying to kill us. At least, not yet. It wants to see if we falter, if we break under the weight of our own fear. The threshold was only a warning. The citadel itself, is the true test. Prometheus' calm voice emanated from the shard. Do not give in to fear. Each shadow you face is a reflection of choice, of memory. Recognize them, and they lose power. Step with purpose together, and you cannot fail. They advanced into a vast hall. The ceiling disappeared into darkness, and jagged shadows rose from the floor like twisted towers. Golden threads of the passage intertwined with black tendrils of erasure, forming a lattice of energy that pulsed like the citadel's own heartbeat. At the far end, the eraser's golden mask gleamed, surrounded by a cloak of living shadow, an aura of absolute authority radiating from every movement. You've come far, the eraser's voice echoed in their minds, deep and unyielding. But nothing you carry can survive here. Every life I erased, every thread I destroyed, returns to me. You are intruders in inevitability. Jack stepped forward, resolute. We're not intruders. We're the passage's guardians. We carry every name, every memory, every life you tried to erase. And we will not be stopped. The eraser raised both hands, and the shadows surged like a black tidal wave, forming walls and tendrils that lunged toward them. Jack swung the fragment, releasing a burst of silver energy that carved through the nearest shadows. Each strike revealed fragments of erased lives' faces, moments, stories lost to time flashing before vanishing into light. Mara followed, striking the floor with her cane. Arcs of azure energy radiated outward, stabilizing the ground and dispersing the shadow fragments. Golden threads from the passage shimmered, intertwining with their attacks, reinforcing the floor beneath them and creating a temporary path forward. Prometheus' presence pulsed, steady and guiding. Strike with clarity, not fury. Every shadow you overcome restores what was taken. Every name remembered weakens the eraser. The eraser faltered for the first time, tendrils recoiling slightly. But the citadel responded violently, fissures cracking beneath them, molten veins glowing red, spikes erupting to block their advance. Jack leapt across a fissure, fragments striking, Mara's cane intersecting with arcs of light. Their movements synchronized in perfect harmony. You defy inevitability. The eraser's voice thundered, frustration creeping in. You meddle with threads I have unmade. Jack's resolve hardened. We aren't mere mortals. We are the heart of the passage, and we endure because we choose to, not because fear tells us to. The eraser lunged, shadows coiling violently, but Jack and Mara pressed onward. Their combined energy carved a path through the darkness, each strike illuminating the golden threads of Prometheus' will. The throne room trembled, reality bending under the force of their unity, a massive tendril shot from the days. Jack met it with a burst of silver light, the collision sending shockwaves through the chamber. Mara followed immediately, arcs of azure intersecting, creating a lattice of power that pushed the tendril back. Threads of erased names began to flicker, responding to the strength of their combined will. The eraser hovered, faltering. For the first time, their golden mask reflected uncertainty. Impossible. Mere mortals. Resisting unmaking. Prometheus' energy surged from the shard. Forward. The threshold is behind you. Beyond lies the crucible. Trusting your unity, your courage, and the will of the passage, Jack inhaled sharply, pressing forward. No more hesitation. Let's finish this. Mara's eyes blazed, her cane raised. Together, the shadows shrank slightly, sensing unwavering resolve. The golden mask glinted, but even in its brilliance, a flicker of doubt appeared. The trio was no longer merely intruding, they were the embodiment of the passage's entrance. The sum of every memory, every life preserved, ahead lay the days. The eraser's full power ready to strike, and the final confrontation of the citadel loomed. The heart of the crucible awaited where courage, sacrifice, and unity would be tested to their absolute limits. Jack tightened his grip on the fragment. Mara readied her cane, and together they stepped toward the center. Prepared to face the eraser and the ultimate trial of the passage, the air grew denser with every step. The shadows that lined the obsidian walls seemed to twitch with awareness, curling toward Jack, Mara, and the glowing shard of Prometheus' presence as though tasting their resolve. Each pulse of light from the fragment and Mara's cane made the shadows hiss and retreat, yet the room itself seemed alive, bending, shifting, and twisting to challenge them at every moment. Jack's chest heaved. It's like the citadel can see inside my head. Every doubt, every fear, it's trying to make me falter. Mara's eyes, glowing faintly blue, scanned the hall. It does see, but it's also a test. Not just of skill, but of who we are, what we carry inside. The threshold was practice, this. This is the crucible where our inner truths are exposed. Prometheus' voice echoed from the shard, calm yet commanding. Do not succumb to the illusions. Every shadow is a reflection of choice, of memory, of fear. Face them, recognize them. They hold no power over those who act with purpose. They entered a massive chamber, vaulted and cavernous, where the ceiling disappeared into darkness. Golden threads of the passage intertwined with black tendrils of erasure, forming a lattice that pulsed like a heartbeat. The shadows moved independently, writhing with intelligence, coiling into jagged spikes, claws, and serpentine forms that lunged toward the intruders. At the far end, the eraser emerged atop a daze, golden mask gleaming amidst the swirling darkness. Cloaked in living shadow, they exuded a presence that warped reality itself. The threads of erased names stretched from their hands into the hall, pulsing and twisting like black rivers. You've come far. The eraser's voice resonated directly into their minds, chilling and absolute. But all you carry is ephemeral. Every life I erased, every thread I severed, returns to me. You trespass in inevitability. Jack stepped forward, determination blazing. We're not trespassing. We're reclaiming. Every life you tried to erase, every memory you tried to destroy, we carry them with us. You cannot undo that. The eraser's hands moved, and shadows surged violently, forming walls and jagged tendrils that lunged toward them. Jack reacted instantly, swinging the fragment, a torrent of silver light ripping through the nearest tendrils. Every strike revealed fragments of erased lives' faces, fleeting moments, stories snatched from time, but the light restored them, even if only briefly. Mara struck her cane against the floor. Arcs of azure energy radiated outward, dispersing the shadows and stabilizing the ground beneath them. Golden threads of the passage shimmered, intertwining with their attacks, reinforcing the floor and carving a path forward. Prometheus' voice pulsed through the shard. Strike with clarity, not anger. Every shadow overcome is a memory preserved, a life reclaimed. Each step forward strengthens the passage and weakens the eraser. The eraser faltered for a moment, tendrils recoiling, but the citadel retaliated. The floor cracked beneath them, molten veins glowing red, and black spikes erupted to block their advance. Jack leapt across a fissure, fragments slashing through a tendril, Mara following with arcs of light that intersected his strikes. A symphony of silver and azure illuminating the chamber. You defy inevitability. The eraser's voice thundered, laced with disbelief. You meddle with threads I have unmade. Jack's jaw tightened. We aren't mere mortals. We are the heart of the passage. We endure because we choose to, not because fear tells us to. The eraser lunged, tendrils thrashing violently, but Jack and Mara pressed onward, weaving light and silver energy through the darkness. Each strike repaired threads of erased names, reinforcing the lattice of the passage. The throne room trembled as reality itself bent under the force of their combined will. A colossal shadow tendril lashed from above. Jack met it head-on with the fragment, sending shockwaves rippling across the chamber. Mara intersected instantly with arcs of light, forming a lattice of energy that repelled the attack. Threads of erased names began to glow, resonating with the strength of their unity. For the first time, the eraser faltered visibly, the golden mask reflecting uncertainty. Impossible. Mere mortals resisting. My unmaking. Prometheus' presence surged from the shard, a beacon of calm. Forward. The threshold is behind you. Ahead lies the heart of the crucible. Trust in your courage, your unity, and the will of the passage. Jack exhaled sharply, gripping the fragment with renewed resolve. No more hesitation. Let's end this. Mara's eyes blazed brighter, her cane raised. Together, the shadows shrank slightly, recognizing their unwavering will. Even the eraser's golden mask flickered with doubt. The trio was no longer mere intruders, they were the living embodiment of the passage, every memory, every life preserved within them. Ahead lay the days, the eraser's full power ready to strike, and the final confrontation of the citadel loomed. The heart of the crucible awaited where courage, sacrifice, and unity would be tested to their absolute limits. Jack tightened his grip on the fragment. Mara steadied her cane, and together they stepped into the chamber's core. The true trial, the battle for the fate of every erased name had begun. The deeper they moved, the heavier the air became, saturated with the weight of erased names and fractured memories. The shadows along the obsidian walls writhed and twisted, not as mindless entities but with deliberate intent, probing for weaknesses, tracing every hesitation, every fleeting doubt in Jack and Mara's minds. Each pulse from the fragment sent ripples through the hall, revealing the faint shimmer of golden threads interwoven with the darkness. Jack's hands trembled as he tightened his grip on the fragment. I can feel it. Every fear, every mistake I ever made. It's feeding off them, trying to weaken me from the inside. Mara's eyes glowed a steady blue as she scanned the labyrinthine hall. It isn't just testing strength. It's testing resolve, heart, and memory. The threshold was the beginning. The citadel itself is a crucible of intent. If we falter now, we lose more than just ourselves. Prometheus' calm voice pulsed through the shard, steady and unwavering. Every shadow you face is a reflection of choices, a fragment of memory, a reminder of what is at stake. Recognize them for what they are, and they will lose their power. Step with unity and purpose. The chamber widened, revealing a vaulted hall that seemed to stretch infinitely. The ceiling was lost in darkness, and pillars of shadow rose like jagged towers, writhing as if alive. Golden threads of the passage intertwined with the black tendrils, pulsing like a heartbeat that resonated with the very fabric of the citadel. At the far end, the eraser emerged atop a raised dais. The golden mask gleamed, reflections of the swirling shadows dancing across its surface. Cloaked in living darkness, the figure exuded absolute authority. Threads of erased names stretched from the eraser's hands into the chamber, writhing like black rivers that threatened to consume everything in their path. You've come far. The eraser's voice reverberated directly in their minds, chilling and commanding. But everything you carry is ephemeral. Every life I erased, every thread I severed, returns to me. You're trespassers in inevitability. Jack stepped forward, jaw tight, resolve solidifying. We're not trespassing. We're reclaiming. Every name you tried to erase, every life you tried to obliterate, we carry them with us. You cannot undo that. The eraser's hands rose, shadows erupting violently, forming jagged walls and serpentine tendrils that surged toward them. Jack swung the fragment, a torrent of silver light slicing through the nearest shadows. Each strike revealed fragments of erased lives' faces, fleeting moments, stories snatched from time, but the light restored them, if only briefly. Mara struck her cane into the floor. Arcs of azure energy radiated outward, dispersing shadows and stabilizing the ground beneath them. The golden threads of the passage shimmered, intertwining with their attacks, reinforcing the floor and carving a path forward. Prometheus' voice pulsed, guiding them with calm precision. Strike with clarity, not rage. Every shadow overcome is a memory preserved, a life reclaimed. Each step forward strengthens the passage and weakens the eraser. The eraser faltered for a fraction of a heartbeat, tendrils recoiling, but the citadel retaliated. Fissures cracked open beneath their feet, molten veins glowing red, and black spikes erupted, attempting to block their advance. Jack leapt across a fissure, fragments slicing through a shadow tendril, while Mara's arcs of light intersected with his, forming a synchronized storm of silver and azure energy. The eraser's voice boomed, disbelief lacing every word. You dare defy inevitability. Mere mortals meddling with threads I have unmade. Jack's resolve hardened. We are not mere mortals. We are the heart of the passage. We endure because we choose to, not because fear dictates it. The eraser lunged, tendrils whipping violently, but Jack and Mara pressed forward, weaving their light and silver energy through the darkness. Each strike repaired threads of erased names, reinforcing the lattice of the passage. The throne room trembled as reality bent under the weight of their unity. A massive tendril shot from the daze. Jack met it head-on with the fragment, shockwaves rippling across the hull. Mara followed immediately, arcs of light intersecting, forming a lattice of power that repelled the attack. Threads of erased names flickered and glowed, responding to the strength of their combined will. The eraser hovered, faltering. For the first time, the golden mask reflected uncertainty. Impossible. Mere mortals. Resisting unmaking. Prometheus' energy surged from the shard, a beacon of calm. Forward. The threshold is behind you. Beyond lies the crucible. Trust in your choices, your unity, and the will of the passage. Jack inhaled sharply, pressing onward. No more hesitation. Let's end this. Mara's eyes blazed brighter. Cane raised. Together, the shadows shrank slightly, recognizing their unwavering resolve. The golden mask flickered, doubt manifesting within the brilliance of the eraser's gaze. Jack and Mara were no longer mere intruders, they embodied the passage itself. Every memory, every name preserved within them. Ahead lay the days, the eraser's full power ready to strike. The final confrontation loomed, where courage, sacrifice, and unity would be tested to their absolute limits. Jack tightened his grip on the fragment. Mara steadied her cane, and together they stepped into the chamber's core. The true trial, the battle for every erased name, every preserved life, was about to begin.